Hey guys, my name is Leanne Brown. I'm a sales director with Mary Kay, and this is Team Building Class 3. And just to recap on the first two classes that we've done that we recorded, I just want to make sure that you have done the first two before you come to this recording. In the first one, we talked about personalities, which is a lot of fun to learn about, DISC, personalities. We talked about how to do an interview. Well, actually, in the first one, we talked about how to book an interview and how to put a recruiting notebook together, which I feel just gives you confidence to know what to do, to have the tools in case you need them. And then on the second one, we really talked about how to do the interview, layering and the importance of layering, and how to close along with objections. Okay, so we challenged you in this class to book 10 interviews, okay, to book 10 and hold 5, okay, because half of what you book holds, right? And so that's why you want to do that. And if you did hold your 5, congratulations. Congratulations, first of all, if you book 10, because that's a great accomplishment. And so if you did hold 5, I want to challenge you to book 5 more in the next week. Okay, book at least 5 more. All right, to hold at least 2 to 3. Okay, and you know how to book them, and you know what kind of people to look for, right? Because we talked about that as well. But I want to recap and talk a little bit more on closing and how to follow up with these prospects, okay? So first of all, I believe that doing interviews, practice interviews, you get more confident with doing, okay? So remember if you did your first 30 faces in the first 30 days, or you did your first 5 skincare classes or 10 skincare classes, how nervous you were in the beginning, okay? And how you became more and more confident as you continue to do these, and then you learn the skills of what to do and what not to do at every skincare class, right? And so I hope that after every interview, you are calling your sales director and telling her what you feel like you did right, what you feel like you need to improve on, which I feel you should do it with your skincare classes as well with your sales director, because you'll learn so much more if you just get plugged in with your sales director, okay? And call her after every one and say, okay, this is what I said, and perhaps she could give you more advice as to what else to say, okay? So that's how you're going to build confidence. I mean, the only way you're going to get confident, ladies, is to do them and to do them more and more, and you'll get better and better at it, okay? So we also have video calls, right, that people can call into or watch in Zoom live with maybe our national or a sales director, and prospects learn about the opportunity. Then you want to follow up, okay? Whether you have a guest that you're following up from a meeting, an interview from the next day, or maybe someone who was on a video call, I don't advise you to text them, okay? I would want you to call them, okay? Because texting is not going to get you closure with that person. It's not. It's not going to work. It is a hiding out mechanism. To me, it shows that we're scared, we're nervous, we don't have that much confidence, and so the best way we can do is just texting, okay? No, you need to call them. You need to arrange when you're going to call them. So when someone comes on a video, I let them know in advance that I will be calling them once they watch the video, or once they go to a meeting and we can't close that person that evening in the car on the way home. I set up a time to call her the next day, okay? So I'll give you an example. I had an interview yesterday over the phone. It was actually a video interview with a girl, great prospect. Really thought she would be on board and made a time to follow up with her the next day. Well, she threw a loop for me, and she actually texted me the next day and bowed out of the opportunity. Very friendly about it, but she was not ready to talk to me. So I think she was nervous about talking to me because she wasn't ready. I'd rather a woman say yes or no. I don't need a maybe or anything like that. It doesn't affect me at all. But in that situation, I would have loved to have talked to her, but she was afraid to talk to me. Okay, so I did set that time up to talk to her. However, she threw a little loop in the program for me and went ahead and beat me to it and texted me and told me she wasn't ready. Okay, and so because her, for reasons, her fiance was not on board, and that's tough. That's a tough situation, right? We can do a lot when our spouse is on board. It really is helpful. It's not that we can't do it when they're not on board. However, it is challenging. Okay. And I would have loved to have talked to this girl, just to talk to her, to get her know her better and to kind of work through those objections. And I'm even thinking about, as this happened today, I may send a video to her to say, hey, I know your spouse is not really on board, and I totally understand. Maybe it's because you don't have enough information. I don't know. But if he feels open to this, I'd love for him to watch this. I just feel strong about you and would love for him to watch this, And if he does, let me know what he thinks, okay? No pressure, right? So we have got to have a conversation with that person, okay? No more hiding out with texting, okay? Another tool that I want, maybe a resource that would help you, is to go to Julia Burnett's video on overcoming objections. It's fantastic. And actually, I need to watch it again and again and again too. What do you do if she says yes? Oh my gosh, what if she do? What if she says yes? Sure, I'll do it. Okay, so here we go. This is what I find when someone is not as skilled in Mary Kay or their confidence not as high. There's a couple of things I've seen. Okay, why don't we meet the next few days and get your agreement filled out? Or, they put it off, okay? When someone says yes, you want that agreement filled out immediately. Okay, so let's say that I followed up with this girl today from last night and she says yes. Okay, so I'm going to have her, I'm going to send her a link immediately. Okay, so I said, I'm going to walk her through this. I'm going to say, okay, well, what I'm going to do is, are you at a computer today? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send you the link to join. Okay, that's where you're going to fill out your agreement and just order your starter kit. So I'm going to email that. So let me get your email and your telephone number and your full name, okay? And you'll get a link, and as soon as you do, let me know you got it, okay? Because sometimes it doesn't always go through, all right? Or if she's sitting with me and she says yes, I pull my laptop out or my phone, and I go to InTouch. Go to Business Tools, the tab. Underneath Business Tools, there's something called Online Agreement. And you click on that, and there's an option to fill it out right away. And she can actually fill it out with you sitting there with her, okay? So no putting off if she says yes to the next day or the next. You want to get it done immediately, okay? I do feel strong also about being confident in letting her talk more. Now, we talked about this as well, is that if she talks more than me in the interview, I win, okay? So let's say that she wants to think about this. Or let's just say she didn't even say that yet, okay? I'm going to give you a scenario with a consultant who doesn't have a lot of skills right now and maybe a little bit lower confidence. And she had a lady that came to the meeting. They got in the car. They talked about it on the way home because she wasn't ready to make a decision with me at the meeting. And the consultant told the girl, why don't you think about it? Why don't you go home and think about it? Now, never say that. We never suggest those kind of things, right? So you want to ask lots of questions. Ask lots of questions. So what did you think about tonight? Did you feel comfortable? Is there anything you could suggest to myself or my sales director to make people feel even more comfortable? Oh, you felt comfortable? Awesome. So tell me, what do you think about the opportunity? Is there any reason why you couldn't go ahead and order your starter kit? Okay. All right. So you need to think about it. Okay. Or great. You want to start now. Those are the things that you want to ask in the car. Okay. When you close an interview, this is how you're done. You say, is there any reason why we couldn't go ahead and order your starter kit? And that's how I stop. And I smile and I sit there and I wait for her to respond. Okay, I have a pen in hand. I have an extra pen for her. I have an paper agreement in case we need a paper agreement, and I let her respond. Okay, that's important. So remember also that if she has objections, you listen to what she says. I like repeat the objection, overcome that objection, and then I say, other than that, what else would you like to know? Other than that, what else would keep you from getting started? Other than that, what else would keep you from getting started? And then if she is done, say, is there any reason why we couldn't go ahead and order your starter kit? And then she says, well, sure, let's go ahead and order our starter kit. Then you could say, how would you like to pay for that? Check, cash, MasterCard, Visa, Discover. You could say, debit card, because if you want to do it online and get it in, which I like to get that in quickly for sure. All right, back to practice interviews. If you're doing these with your sales director, I'm sure you're learning a lot. And to remind you to be quiet unless she asks for advice or wants you to chime in, because two people talking against one is a lot, and you could alter that situation. Okay. I want to read something to you. This was really cool. And I believe this was from Robin Rowland, okay? And in a nutshell, if someone wants to go home and think about it or ask their husband or whatever, I always ask for a 24-hour decision, okay? So this is how Robin Rowland projects this. This is a skill that you can learn, and you can learn this by heart. Becky, I find that the hardest part of becoming an independent consultant is just making the decision. I wish somebody had told me how to make it, so I'm going to tell you. When you and I leave each other today, if Mary Kay is on your mind and it kind of stays there or it drifts out and keeps coming back, then you really ought to think about this, okay? But when you and I leave here, okay, if you don't think about anything else about this, then it's probably not for you right now. And I find women are very intuitive, and we get a sense very quickly about things we do or don't want to. So you probably know right now if this is something you'd like to pursue. In fact, I'd be totally remiss if I didn't give you a chance to say yes right now, if you'd like to. And then she pauses and she smiles, and she will likely say, no, I need to go home and think about it. But at least give her the chance to make a yes decision right now if she's ready, okay? Becky, I'd really like to call you tomorrow to get your gut reaction. I really believe that an initial 24-hour decision, it's a heart decision. And I like to put my hand on the heart, okay? And that's the decision I want, okay? If it's your decision is made after 24 hours, it becomes your head decision. And head decisions are usually made out of fear. Oh, yes, I know that you're going to feel some fear. I certainly did, and I know you will too. Expect that. But fear is extremely normal because it's something that I know you've never thought about, much less feel confident in doing. And so it's only normal that the thoughts of something you've never done would cause some fear. Becky, if you know you have needs that are not being met and you would like to have some things to be different in your life, then I know we're going to have to do some different things to get them. Just follow your heart on this decision. And when I call you tomorrow, all I really want is your heart decision. And so with that said, can I call you and get your decision tomorrow? And she says this is how she closes the interview, and she leaves her. And she honestly believes I honestly believe what I have just told her. I believe that a person should make a decision based on their heart and do make the follow-up call the next day, just as you said you would. You know, you definitely don't want to text her. You want to call her, okay? And this is definitely a practice skill. I'm practicing this script as well, but it would definitely help you as well. And something I learned from National Sales Director Robin Rowland as well is she never tries to interview someone if they're going out of town the next day, because they're so distracted on going out of town. And it's hard to follow up, right? And so she likes to actually interview them when they get back, which was very like, aha, what an aha moment to me. You know, if she's going out of town the next day or two, I probably shouldn't really interview her unless I can get her a yes decision, maybe at a skincare class or something. So one last thing I want to cover is an I story. And I know I think we talked about this in one of the videos about doing your I story. We talked about the ATSO, your 4-point recruiting plan. And briefly, I want to talk about what an I story consists of, okay? This is basically my I story. How did I feel when I joined? You want to share and move the people at the table to join and understand the values of the company, okay? So number one, the perception of Mary Kay. What was my perception of Mary Kay before I joined, okay? Number two, what made me decide to join? And number three, what I found since I've been a part of this company, okay? Because, you know, I've been in Mary Kay 23 years, and so my perception of Mary Kay is interesting. You know, I thought it was for old people and, you know, didn't really understand the whole concept of Mary Kay Cosmetics. And the reason I joined is totally different than why I'm in it today, okay? So I really like to talk about those things in my skincare class, but I also, the more you do, again, the better you get at this, okay? I wasn't really good at this in the beginning, but I've gotten really good at this now, is to listen. Okay, because I've gotten to where I could do my skincare class in my sleep. That's how much I've done it, okay? So at my skincare class, I get to know everybody first before I do my I story. So I have them go around and tell me their name and what they do, and maybe one thing they love about their hostess, their friend, you know, but I get to know these people, okay? So for instance, I started Mary Kay when I was in college, okay? So if I have a group of college students, I am really going to talk about Mary Kay and how it worked for me while I was in college. My I story is going to really hone in on my college experience, not a lot about what my life is right now. Briefly talk about it, but not a lot, okay? Because I want it to be relatable to them. Now, if there are women that are my age, maybe have kids, maybe the similar situation that I am, I can go over that quickly, but then talk a lot about how it's working for myself, my children and their age, and the benefits of that, okay? So you want to cater your I story to the group of people at the skincare class, okay? And that is a skill that you get better and better every time you do it, okay? And last but not least, don't forget about that layering sheet, okay? It does take layering with people, all right? It takes time for some people. You know, they have to be a hostess first and use the product, and maybe have an interview, and then maybe go to a meeting, and maybe attend another guest event or something. You know, they may need more layering until they can make the decision, and that's okay. That is completely okay. And that layering process can be within a couple of weeks or years, all right? So that is important. But you know what? The one thing I want to kind of end with is, bottom line, the beginning of my business, is I built a solid customer base, okay? I love to sell this product. I love to do skincare classes. And I know what this product can do for people and their skin, and this company can do for people. But the bottom line is we got to build a solid foundation, right? Mary Kay used to always say, nothing happens until someone sells something, right? And so that's where it starts. And then we get in front of these people and we sell this product, and we have a powerful 4-point recruiting plan. And we have a powerful close to where we know how to sell sets. book appointments, book parties, and book interviews. And you get good at that. And you'll go, I really don't work that much. I mean, not that many hours. If I do 2 or 3 skincare classes a week and do that at every single skincare class, my goodness, I mean, that's not a lot of time. I have plenty of time for my family and maybe my other job and my maybe my church and whatever is important to me. So I want you to know that building a solid foundation of customers is where it's at. Okay, getting lots of basic skincare customers, lots of them. Okay, and then start to build that team as well in the beginning. Okay, and I remember one of my directors taught me this. One of my sales directors that was leading me is, imagine yourself hopping on one leg. Okay, you're hopping on one leg. All right, then you go on the other leg and you hop on the other. Okay, now hop on both. All right, what's easier? Both legs, right? Both feet on the ground, hopping is much easier, right? Sometimes we do skincare classes, we sell the product, all that reorders on one leg, and we're hopping on one leg. And it's great, but it's good, but it's not fantastic, right? But if you just do the recruiting, it's not fantastic either. So you got to do both. You got to do skincare classes and interviews, selling the product, building a team all at one time. It does work better that way, and things move quickly and more profitable. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time and your willingness to learn and an open heart. And I pray that you get really good at these interviews, get very well skilled, and your confidence grows and you build a team.